It started subtly, as these things often do. A shift in the air, a coolness where warmth used to be. For 12 years, my life with Sarah had been a comfortable rhythm, a song we both knew by heart. We met in college, two bright-eyed kids with dreams bigger than our tiny apartment. I fell for her laugh, a sound that could chase away any storm cloud. She said she fell for my quiet strength, the way I always knew what she needed before she did. We built a life together, brick by brick, laugh by laugh. We had 2 beautiful children, Leo and Mia, and a home filled with the happy chaos they created. I thought we had it all. I thought we were unshakable. Then the silence began. It wasn't an angry silence, not the kind that follows a fight and waits for an apology. It was a hollow silence, an absence. Dinners became quiet affairs, the clinking of our forks the loudest sound in the room. Our conversations, once flowing rivers, trickled down to mundane questions about bills and groceries. "How was your day?" I'd ask, and she'd reply with a one-word answer, her eyes fixed on her phone. That phone, it had become a permanent extension of her hand, a digital wall between us. She'd smile at the screen, a private, knowing smile that wasn't for me. A chill would run down my spine. Who was she smiling for? The late-night calls were the next crack in our foundation. She'd say it was work, a demanding new project with her colleague, Mark. "We're just finalizing the presentation," she'd whisper. Stepping out onto the balcony, closing the glass door behind her, the city lights would dance on her silhouette, but she seemed a world away. I'd lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, the muffled sound of her voice a painful reminder of the growing distance between us. I tried to trust her. I wanted to believe it was just work. But my gut, that primal instinct you can't ignore, was screaming that something was terribly wrong. I felt like a stranger in my own home, a ghost in my own marriage. One evening, I came home early, hoping to surprise her and the kids. The house was quiet. I found a note on the counter, took the kids to the park. Back soon, but then I saw it. Her work laptop left open on the kitchen table. My heart pounded in my chest. I know I shouldn't have, but I couldn't stop myself. A little voice urged me to look, to find the truth, no matter how painful. With trembling hands, I clicked on her email. The first one I saw was from Mark. The subject line was, "Tonight, my blood ran cold." The email wasn't about a presentation. It was filled with words of affection, inside jokes, and plans for a future that didn't include me. They were planning a weekend trip, just the 2 of them. The world tilted on its axis. Every shared memory, every vow, every "I love you," suddenly felt like a lie. The air was knocked from my lungs. I stumbled back from the table, gasping for breath. How could she be the woman I had loved for more than a decade, the mother of my children? The pain was physical, a sharp, searing ache in my chest. I felt a wave of nausea. I closed the laptop, my mind a whirlwind of betrayal and confusion. Just then, I heard the key in the door. Sarah walked in, the kids running ahead of her, their faces bright with playground laughter. She looked at me, her smile faltering as she saw the look on my face. "What's wrong?" she asked, her voice laced with a strange, nervous energy. I couldn't speak. I just pointed at the laptop. Her face went pale. The color drained from her cheeks, and the guilt in her eyes was the final confirmation I needed. The truth was out, hanging in the air between us, heavy and suffocating. The kids, sensing the tension, fell silent. Leo looked from my face to his mother's, his little brow furrowed with worry. In that moment, my world shattered into a million pieces. The woman I thought I knew was a stranger, and the life we had built was a house of cards, collapsing around me. The confrontation was a blur of tears and hollow excuses. She tried to downplay it, calling it a mistake, a moment of weakness. She said she felt neglected, that our spark had faded. Her words were like salt in an open wound, neglected. I worked 60-hour weeks to provide for our family, to give her the life she wanted. I coached Leo's soccer team. I read Mia bedtime stories every single night. When had the spark faded for her? Was it during one of those late-night calls with Mark? Or when they were planning their secret getaways while I was tucking our children into bed? The hypocrisy was staggering. I knew I couldn't stay. Not for one more night. Looking at her was like looking at a stranger wearing my wife's face. The love I had felt was replaced by a cold, hard knot of betrayal. I packed a bag in a daze, the simple act of folding my shirts feeling surreal. Every object in our home, every photograph on the wall, was a painful reminder of a life that was now a lie. Leo and Mia were crying, not understanding why Daddy was leaving. I knelt, hugging them tightly, whispering that I loved them more than anything in the world and that this wasn't their fault. That was the hardest part, seeing the confusion and pain in their innocent eyes. I walked out the door of the home I had built, leaving behind 12 years of my life. The first few weeks were a living nightmare. I stayed on a friend's couch, feeling like a failure. Sleep offered no escape, as my dreams were haunted by images of Sarah and Mark. I replayed every moment of the past year in my head, searching for signs I had missed. The self-doubt was crippling. Was I not enough? Was I a bad husband? But through the fog of pain, a small, resilient part of me began to fight back. I started talking to a therapist who helped me understand that her choices were not a reflection of my worth. It wasn't my fault. Slowly, I began to untangle my identity from our marriage. I wasn't just Sarah's husband. I was Mark, a father, a friend, a person who deserved happiness and respect. I focused on my kids. They became my reason for getting up in the morning. I found a small apartment and made it a home for them, a safe harbor from the storm. Our weekends were filled with park visits, movie nights, and pancake breakfasts. I was determined to show them what unconditional love looked like. I poured all the love that had been rejected by their mother into them. Seeing them laugh again, seeing them feel secure and happy, began to heal the broken pieces of my own heart. I learned that I was a capable and loving father on my own, and that strength became my anchor. Life is different now, but it's good. It's authentic. The divorce was finalized, and while co-parenting has its challenges, we make it work for the sake of the kids. I've rediscovered hobbies I'd long forgotten and reconnected with friends I'd lost touch with. There's a quiet peace in my life now, a sense of self-respect that I had lost. The pain of betrayal doesn't disappear overnight, but it no longer defines me. It's a scar, a reminder of a battle I survived. I learned that sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to walk away from what is breaking you. My story isn't one of revenge, but of resilience. It's a story about finding strength in the wreckage and rebuilding a new, more honest life from the ground up. And for that, I am truly grateful. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've gone through something similar, know that you are not alone and that healing is possible. Please consider liking this video and subscribing for more stories of resilience and hope. Take care.